Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about mates in SolidWorks. So in the last video, we talked about using assemblies in general, and we just kind of talked about getting the parts ready for assembly and different things to consider, and as well as the different buttons that's available inside assembly. So here we're going to actually talk about mating. So mating is really the core of assemblies because mates are what constrains parts inside an assembly, and there's obviously a million ways to mate something, but there are certain ways that I prefer to make things a little bit easier for myself. Okay, so right off the bat, you have views that you work with, right? So you have a front view, you have like top view, and so on. So I typically like to mount my parts as if I were looking at them corresponding to those views. So for my front plane, I would want to mate it so that it looks like I'm looking at the front when this is in the front. So I'm gonna call this, I wanna have this motor like be on its side when I'm looking at it in the front view. So to do that, I need to mate one part that's considered constrained or like fully defined. You can see these minus signs here by the parts. That just means that they're floating. When I fix them temporarily, you see fix and then you can't drag them, right? But the proper way is to not fix them, but rather mate them properly. So, like this part, for example, if I want to constrain it, I want to constrain it to one of the planes. So I could either use use its planes and mate with the planes of the assembly. So these are the assembly planes, the front, top, right. You could mate the part planes to assembly planes, or use like certain sides of it and mate it to the plane. But here we're just gonna right click the two top planes because top is top for both of them, and then we're gonna make it coincident. So you can see the mate types when you choose the two parts and how to mate it. So we'll go into different ones later on, but these are pretty similar when we were choosing relations. So the complement of relations and sketches for assemblies is mates, but they're typically the same thing. The same concept carries over. Okay, so right now the top plane is mated properly, and then here we have our right plane. So the right plane is also actually going to be mated to our right. And then you could flip the direction here, the mate alignment. So I just want the motor to be pointing the other direction. And then the last mate, you could try dragging this now. So notice that I can only drag back and forth. If I try going right and left, it won't move. And then if I try dragging, if I look at it from the front and I try dragging it up and down, you see it doesn't move, right? So right, left, up, down, you see it's not moving. It's only going to move back and forth. So this last mates that we have to take care of is the front plane, and we're going to mount it to this front plane. So if I mate that, that's a total of 3 mates for this object, and you can see the minus sign disappears. So what that means is that this motor bracket is fully defined, and if I drag it anywhere, it's not going to move around. So now if I come in and then hit like front view, the motor bracket is exactly how I want it. I go to top view, is exactly how I want it. And then my right view is exactly how I want it, and so on. Okay. So now to mate this motor, you want to click one of the edges here, right? And then you can click the mate button. So you want this to be, if I click that, there's different options, right? So by default, it guesses as concentric. So that will make the two circles aligned. That will be the best choice. So because it's a circle, it's concentric. And notice here, sometimes for your assembly, you might notice like, oh, something's not fitting, right? You can see an interference. And usually this tool with like interference detection, it might also tell you. If I try this, if I try calculating, you can see that it's saying there's like interference. That's one thing you could do to check, but it's good to be able to check things visually by eye, just with practice. But in this case, right, I'm gonna save this real quick. In this case, you can see the conflict here, and you could go ahead and modify this part, make the bracket a little bit taller. So this was actually supposed to be 3 inches. So now if I come back here and it rebuilds, you can see that the spacing changed. So that's what we want. And then the next mate is, notice that this thing can rotate. So we'll want this face probably parallel to the bottom face, like so. We'll notice that there's a cable there, so maybe you want the cable on the side. So I could try to have the cable pointing away because I don't want to see it. And then you could mate this top plane to this plane. And notice that by default it goes to parallel. Coincident doesn't work because it's already constrained by the circle, so there's no way for those two planes to be touching. So the only way you could mate it is by using a parallel mate. So now you can't rotate it, and it's constrained to the circle. You can only move it in and out. So that's the only range of motion. And then from there, you could finally choose this face and then mate it to that face. And I did that pretty quickly, but what I did was once I clicked the two faces, I could right click and that will do like the check mark to allow the mate to finish. So that's how you mate the two parts here. And then you could go ahead and mate this screw. So what you want is to have first a concentric mate here. So notice there's like other mates like tangent. So I could do something like mate this plane, mate it here, and I could make this tangent. That's obviously I wouldn't do that for this application, but it's just for the purpose of showing. So you see when I drag this screw is tangent. So that's how you work with a tangent mate. And then if you screw up with your mates, you come in this tree here and then just delete your mate here. And then the tangent mate will go away. So now this part is again free to move. So here I'm going to mate and then choose this to make it concentric and right click to confirm the mate. And then I'm going to click this face here and then right click to confirm it. So now you can see I have added my screw here. Or actually I could, this is a through hole. So this is a through hole. So I could have like a nut behind here, or another way is I could make this plate threaded. I think I initially made this plate threaded so your screws will actually go the other way. So again, let's say you want to change your mates, you could come in here, edit feature, and you could say like, okay, I want to change the face. So instead of this motor bracket, I'm going to delete this, and you could come in here and modify and say you want this face instead. But now notice the direction is wrong. You could click flip mate alignment, and then now it might be in the correct direction. Okay, so you could mount something like this as well. So obviously the screws are sticking out. You might choose a shorter screw for better sizing, but this is just really to show the demonstration of how to mate it. Okay, so once you get one screw in, there's like another feature that's called copy with mates. So what this does is allows you to repeat mates. So the only thing repeated is a coincident because it's sharing the same surface. And then the part that changes is a concentric mate. So you could click the new one you want and then right click and then repeat that 4 times. So this is a quick way to add multiple parts, inserting it in and adding mates at the same time. So now we have all 4 screws inside our assembly here. Okay, so that pretty much wraps up mates in SolidWorks. So whenever you want to come back here, you could play with your mates, and like parts, you could also suppress it. So maybe one day you wanted to make this rotate again, so you could come in here and suppress the mate, and then this will start rotating. Okay, but if you could unsuppress this, and it'll go back to the right mate that it had. So that's a pretty useful tool too. Okay. So hopefully that gave you a good idea on how to use mates in SolidWorks. So just remember that mates are good for helping you constrain your parts, because you can see now that at least these two don't have the minus sign. The screws usually will have the minus sign because it can still rotate, but no one really cares. So we usually don't bother trying to constrain the rotation of the screws. But this is pretty much it for assemblies. And if you found this video helpful, give a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.